So today we're going to dive into Focus on What Matters by Coach Pia Acevedo. And really, it's all about trying to find a little bit of clarity in a world that feels like it was specifically designed to distract us. I'm excited for this one, so let's jump right in. I think we've all been there, right? That feeling where you're just adrift. You're busy, your calendar is packed, you're constantly moving, but you're not actually getting anywhere meaningful. It's like you're running on a treadmill, expending all this energy, but the scenery never really changes. You're checking off boxes on a to-do list, but the big picture, the why behind it all, is just fuzzy. Well, for the author of this book, the path to finding that clarity wasn't discovered on some peaceful meditation retreat. No. For her, it was forged in a sudden, terrifying life or death crisis that basically stripped away all the noise and left her with only the most essential questions. I mean, picture this. She's 30 years old, and from the outside, she has it all. A successful career, making great money. She was checking all the boxes that society tells us mean you've made it. But on the inside, she describes feeling completely empty, shallow, and just deeply unhappy. She felt like all her hard work was just going toward these, in her words, selfish and self-centered endeavors driven by ego, by insecurity, and it wasn't leading to any real freedom or sense of purpose. And then it happened, completely out of the blue. New Year's Day. She has a severe allergic reaction, and she goes into anaphylactic shock. Her airways start closing up, her husband is rushing her to the hospital, and she is literally fighting for every single breath she takes, knowing that these could very well be her last moments on Earth. So in that moment, gasping for air, what do you think flashes through her mind? It wasn't her career achievements, it wasn't her bank account. The question that came up was so much deeper. She asked herself, if these were my final moments before judgment, then have I loved enough? Have I optimized my full potential here on Earth? And in that critical moment, the answer she felt in her gut was a heavy, resounding no. Well, surviving an experience like that, it changes you. And for her, that brush with death became the spark for a whole new purpose in life. It led her to develop this philosophy she calls inner work. The whole idea is to stop looking for answers outside of yourself and instead focus on building the internal skills you need to find your own clarity so you can make much better decisions about your life. So this idea of inner work, it really stands on three core pillars. The first is self-mastery. This is about staying plugged into who you are right now, today. Because let's be real, you're not the same person you were 5 years ago or even last year. The second pillar is self-development. This is the active part. It's about nurturing the person you're becoming. And finally, number 3 is self-commitment. And this is the tough one, right? It's about having the grit to stay the course, even when it's hard, until you find that clarity you're looking for. But, a philosophy is one thing. How do you actually apply it when life gets messy and confusing? Well, from this foundation of inner work, she created a really practical, hands-on tool that anyone can use to navigate all that uncertainty. And this is it. It's called the Clarity Framework. It looks simple, and that's the beauty of it. It's designed to be a straightforward process for making decisions from a place of real strength and self-awareness instead of from a place of fear, confusion, or just noise. Okay, so it boils down to asking yourself 3 deceptively simple questions. Step 1 is to ask, what is clear? This is the absolute anchor, because it forces you to identify the raw, undeniable truth of your situation before your mind starts spinning all kinds of stories and anxieties about it. Only after you know what's clear do you move to step 2. What are the hindrances? What's actually getting in the way? Is it something external or is it an internal belief? And then finally, step 3. What can I say or do? This is all about choosing your next move, an action or a word that is genuinely aligned with your most authentic self. Let's look at a few real-life examples of how this plays out. First up is Rochelle. She left a really successful producing job to chase her passion for film, but she was just riddled with doubt and was having a tough time with her new colleagues. So she used the framework. What was clear? Her passion for film. What was the hindrance? She realized it was this old unconscious story in her head that she had to prove herself to her mother. The big aha moment, the clarity, was that her career choice wasn't about rebelling against her mom. It was about finding meaningful work for herself. And when she saw that, everything shifted for her. Then there's the story of Elmer. He was completely focused on working longer hours to make more money, chasing this idea of a life of luxury. The problem was, he was missing out on his family. So using the framework, what was clear? His job actually made him happy. What was the hindrance? The sheer amount of time it demanded was an obstacle to what he valued even more. He had this moment of clarity where he realized that what truly mattered most to him was being present with his kids while they were still young. So he chose a new action, a simple one, but a powerful one. He started leaving work on time, every single day. And this last example is so powerful. It's about a woman named Shane who had spent her entire life taking care of everyone else, her parents, her siblings. When it was finally her turn to think about her own future, she felt totally lost, almost insecure because she didn't have these huge, grand ambitions ready to go. Her moment of clarity was just so profound. She realized it was perfectly okay to not know yet. It was okay to give herself the grace and the time to discover who she was when she wasn't just defined by her role as a caretaker.
So, when you put all this together, you start to see the crucial point. We so often think that finding focus means having this perfect, detailed, unshakable plan for the future. We think we need to have everything figured out, all our ducks in a row, before we can move forward with any real confidence.
But what this work really teaches us is that true focus, it isn't a destination, it's a process. It's about having a reliable tool, a system like the Clarity Framework, that you can turn to whenever you feel that fog of confusion rolling in. It's about finding clarity moment by moment, one decision at a time. So I want to leave you with this question. Just for a moment, think about your own life. Where do you need a little more focus and clarity right now? Is it in your career, a relationship, a personal project? Just try asking yourself those 3 simple questions. What is absolutely undeniably clear? What are the hindrances? And what is one small thing you can say or do that would feel true to you? You might be surprised by the answer.